Todd, welcome to SuperChat.
Good afternoon, Gary. How are you?
I'm just fine, sir. Always good to speak with you. You know, I can't think of a more positive subject to start out our conversation today than to ask you about Teacher of the Week. What can you report here?
We have outstanding teachers throughout our district. That's what makes our school district so great. But every now and then, one of our teachers will get nominated by a parent, which makes it more special. And we happen to have a nominee from Struble Elementary, and her name is Jessica Yelton. She's a second grade teacher, and she was just awarded the Warm 98 Teacher of the Week. So with that, Jessica receives stuff for her classroom. The classroom receives a pizza party, and she gets recognized on Warm 98 for her achievements in and out of the classroom. It was pretty special. They read the letter that the parent wrote in about Jessica and how much she does for her kids and how much she cares. They were in the middle of a spelling test when we walked in, so the kids stopped, got to enjoy the celebration, got to see what was going on. But we're just very proud of any of our teachers, and this is the second or third one that's received this award. The others were in years past. But Jessica Yelton, second grade teacher at Struble, competing against all the other teachers in the listening area of 198, and we're just very proud of her and very excited.
If any of us think back, there's always a teacher in our past, in our history of going through school that just left a lasting impression, just maybe went that extra mile and really caused a lasting memory. And I sense that she is just one such teacher. That's great news. Todd, on another topic, I wanted to ask you, your district has some great technology integration plans for next year. Off mic, there's been a little conversation about this, but can you fill your stakeholders in on what's coming?
Right. A lot of the master facility plan, we've talked about how the schools are going, how construction's going, we're under budget. But one of the things we promised when we passed the levy was one-to-one technology for all our K through 5 schools. So that's not only the 3 new ones that will be built, but that includes Mumford Heights and Coleraine Elementary also. And so what that means is that each student on a daily basis in class throughout the building will have access to their own Chromebook that they can use, log on, and participate in activities. Now, a lot comes with this. We have interactive smart boards that will be in each of the classrooms with overhead projectors. The teachers can use those to demonstrate. The kids can come up on the boards and interact. They can post surveys on the board. The kids can sit at their Chromebooks, interactively answer questions. So a teacher can teach a unit and then give a short oral quiz, and the kids respond on their Chromebooks. And then right away, the teacher has instant feedback on how the kids are doing. Chromebooks are what we're using for all our state testing. So it makes sure that kids aren't surprised by the first time they take state tests or assessments and our district tests through MAP. But it gives them experience in manipulating the Chromebook, using it, using the mouse. And that's really important and a big thing for K through 2. So a lot of kids come to school with the skills needed, but some do not. So now we will have a one-to-one for everyone. We're also looking at ways as how we can allow the Chromebooks to go home if the students have Wi-Fi connections at home. And one of the first questions some of the parents will ask is, how can you guarantee when my kids are on these Chromebooks working on the internet, they won't get to inappropriate sites? Well, we can monitor and we can block sites constantly of where kids shouldn't be. We can have icons on the Chromebook screen that open to the areas we want them to go, so we can very closely monitor what they have access to. The piece we're working on is if the Chromebooks travel home, how we would monitor that also. But we think we've got some safeguards in place that would help with that. So technology allows you to do more blended learning. The old days when we went to school and it's teacher-led instruction and 6 rows of 5, that's gone. Kids learn at different speeds. We don't want kids to have to sit in class and wait for everybody to get the mastery of one subject where if they get it, they should be able to move on. They should be able to be enriched. But on the other end, we should also be able to intervene and assist those kids who aren't where they need to be. So the technology piece helps with that. There's outstanding programs that are proven to be successful, and it adds another tool to the toolbox for our teachers. So we're very excited. We're very close to already having one-to-one in our middle schools and our high schools. So like I said, for August 2018, one-to-one technology K through 5, and then by 2019, we should have that finished at our high school and middle school also. So we're very excited.
Yeah, that's excellent. And along the lines of the students having access to inappropriate content, yeah, there are a lot of firewall things built into the school systems that we encounter. And then the other side of it is, parents really should take it upon themselves to have conversations with their kids about items that would fall under the umbrella of what is generally referred to as digital citizenship and how to be a good digital citizen and what's appropriate, what's not. And
and that's a great point because we have adults who don't follow that as it is. And it's just huge. Yeah, it's an educational piece that we will work on also because it is our responsibility to teach that aspect also. So that's a great point you bring up.
What can you explain or describe related to the new attendance regulations?
I wanted to talk about this, Gary, because this becomes personal with parents. Parents are responsible for raising their kids, and they're responsible for making decisions when it's appropriate to go to school because you're sick and when it's not. We want the parents to know that as a district, attendance is important to us. It's on our state report card. We are evaluated on how our kids do, but the state has come out like other similar states have with chronic absenteeism. And there is research that shows that if a kid misses over 16 to 18 days of school in a school year, that's chronic absenteeism, and they could miss up to a year's worth of education. And there's allergies out there now. There's new things that are affecting kids and families, but it just comes down to us working with the family. Is there reasons older children don't want to come to school? They're not engaged. They don't feel a part of something. So we have placed teams at every school per Ohio Revised Code and per ODE. And these teams consist of a teacher, a counselor, an administrator, putting plans together on how we can assist kids getting to school. I think some of it comes back to kids need to feel engaged. Do they have a program they're interested in? And that's why I've talked so much in the past about Butler Tech and a different avenue for graduation. We have online learning programs. We have programs where kids are working part of the day and then going to school part of the day. So we have options out there along with our alternative school. But we want parents to know we're here to help you. We don't want to send letters out to say, hey, notification, your kids missed 3 days of school, 6 days of school, 9. The purpose of that letter is to start a conversation on what can we do to work with the parent. It's not easy being a parent. And some of our kids come from homes where they live with grandparents, some live with single parents, and some live with both parents. But even in those situations, it sometimes becomes very difficult to motivate a kid to come to school. So we don't take it as it's all the parents' problem. It's our problem. It's something that we want to work with the parents. So anybody who has issues with attendance or you're struggling with your kid getting to school, we have teams in place. We have a district truancy court where we can work through problems. We can do wraparound services that are needed, whether it be for counseling or anything else. We want to take care of the whole child. Yes, it's important to get good math grades, English grades, science, and social studies, but it's important to develop the whole child too. And if there's some extracurricular activities that we could get them involved in where they feel more of being a part of a school, or if there's some psychological things we can get services wrapped around, we're more than willing to do it because it's a team effort for this attendance policy. And we just want to make sure that people know that we will work with them.
What is the very latest status update you can provide listeners regarding construction going on around the district? You certainly have your plate full in that department.
The great news is that we are on time and under budget, as I've said repeatedly, but we're getting ready to do a neat little ceremony. It's called a topping out ceremony. So what's going to happen is the 5 elementaries that are going to be demolished and move into the new schools will have a beam that is brought to each of the schools. On the beam, the teachers and the students can sign the beam. And then the topping out ceremony consists of a crane lifting the beam up and putting it in place. The date of the official topping out ceremony is going to be at one school. It'll be October 18th at Struble Elementary at 8:30. We are going to videotape it. Our Butler Tech media class located at Northwest High School is going to come and do an HD videotaping of the project, and then we will make it available to all the elementaries who are involved so that they can see exactly what occurs and how the beam is raised. So we're really excited about this. This means that we're enclosing the buildings. This means that we can get inside and start doing the insides and finishing things up. I want to make sure that folks follow me on Twitter at NWLSD Superintendent because we have weekly updates and pictures of what's going on in the buildings, and it's called our Blitz. So if they can follow that, they can see what's going on. And as always, anybody can feel free to come in and ask questions.
Yeah, good idea. Well, I must say, a good blend of topics today. I realize you've been in meetings a good part of this week, so we had to kind of catch up with each other. But I do appreciate your report today, Todd, and I want to thank you for joining me here on SuperChat.
Great, Gary. I appreciate it.